Lovely friends, I figured it was about time that I did an updated 20 perfumes for life. My nose has changed a bit, my tastes have expanded quite a lot, and obviously my collection's expanded or changed quite a lot since then. So I've been thinking about this one for quite a while. I've been making this list for a while. Um, and yeah, I mean, it's really difficult because realistically, there's at least 30, maybe 40 that I would want to put in this list. But I've tried to be strict. I've got 20 and then I've just got a few honourable mentions at the end. So there are actually 10 perfumes here that have remained from the last list. So I think it's fair enough to describe those as my top 10, although I would say that there's at least one or two, maybe three, that I would maybe put up in the top 10. But because these are all ones that have been there for like maybe 4 or 5 years or longer, I'm going to do these ones first. So if you know me, you know what's probably going to be top of my list if I could only ever have one perfume, which obviously would be a disaster and I don't want that to be the case. But if that were the case, then the obvious answer for me is just my favourite ever musk. This is my musk, the musk for me. And this is Skin Musk by Parfum de Coeur. So this used to be by Bonnie Bell, I believe, but nowadays it's by Parfum de Coeur, PDC brands. Skin Musk is just a perfect, sweet, musky, sandalwoody, floral musk. And it smells clean and fresh. It's a bit soapy. I have backups of this, don't worry. The oil is by far the best version of this. The spray cologne, I really like how it smells, but it lasts for like 2 seconds. Whereas the oil lasts forever and it's amazing. It's just my absolute favourite musk. It's one that I can happily wear any time of the year. I can wear it to bed. It's just perfect. So yeah, this would be the one that I'd choose if I was only allowed to have one. So that is still absolutely top of the tops, top of my list. Then we're going to go for another one that I'm happy to just wear anytime, and just smelling it makes me happy. This is a real cheapie. That was a cheapie as well. You'll notice a lot of these are cheapies. I've got a few more expensive ones in here, but a lot of them are cheapies. Katy Perry's Indie, a perfect, creamy, extremely musky, says cedar but smells like sandalwood. This smells very similar to Van Cleef and Arpels Santal Blanc, I think it's called. I've got lots of bottles of this. I've got 100ml. This is I think it's like a 30ml. I absolutely love it. This smells like coconut to me. It is a clean girl. Well, not even really clean girl. It's like a cool girl smell to me. It's like a kind of jeans, white shirt, leather jacket kind of smell. And it's quite unisex. It honestly smells like coconut cream to me. It's got that kind of sandalwoody smell in it that just really truly smells like coconut. And I think there's like 4 or 5 different types of musk in here. There's tonka bean, there's tea, there's plum. It's just beautiful. I absolutely love this perfume. I'm so glad that I found it. I found it really because of making this channel and just trying out cheapies. But I absolutely adore that perfume. It's still a winner. Oh, all right. This one's been in my collection. I reckon, when did I get this? I feel like I bought this not long after this new design of it came out. I was trying to find a good Freesia perfume and this one was suggested. So I've had this maybe 15... I must have had it for around 15 years maybe. I don't know. Maybe a bit less. But I've been taking my time with it because it's really precious to me. So this is Forever and Ever Dior by Christian Dior. Or just Dior, I guess, as they're called nowadays. This is a beautiful, fresh spring floral. It smells like fresh petals. It smells like a spring breeze. It's got freesia and rose and jasmine and almond blossom. It's just, I think there's ivy in it. It's so magical. I wore this for my wedding. It's so special to me. I love this perfume. One of the other reasons that I haven't got an even bigger dent in this is because when I bought this, I was also given a tiny little glass miniature of it. I say tiny, it's a spray bottle. So that's the one that I take away with me when I go places, or, that's the one that I re-up on. This is one of those perfumes that is light and ethereal, but it lasts on me forever. It's not strong though, but oh my God, it leaves such a beautiful scent trail. Obsessed. I love it. Yep. So for Dior Forever and Ever Dior, That's always, I think, going to be in my top 20 for life because it's my favourite floral of all time. Oh, okay. Then we have two from the same house and the same range. So let's start with the original. This one, again, if you know me, you won't be surprised to see this. This is SJP, Sarah Jessica Parker Stash, a niche smelling, stunning perfume for the price of an absolute celebrity cheapie. It's crazy how affordable this is in the UK. I also have the oil, which is the one that I tend to kind of wear, but this one, it's very woody, it's sweet, it's warm, it's spicy. It's really interesting, but it's also, to be honest, just the only woody perfume that I feel I need. I don't really include most sandalwoods in that because I do love a sandalwood, but when it comes to like something that's not really sandalwood, that has more of an obvious wood note that isn't quite as like creamy and is a little bit maybe more bitter, a bit more masculine, this is the only one I need. This is just so beautiful. I think it smells like Christmas because there's something kind of resinous and piney in it that reminds me of Christmas trees. So, oh man, it's just such a special and magical perfume. I love Stash. And its sister, which was also, like I said, in my top 20 last time, and is going nowhere, because this is kind of my winter version of something like Indie. It's very sweet, delicious. This is Stash Unspoken by SJP, and it is a very beautiful, creamy, powdery sandalwood with a very yummy tonka and a little bit of honeysuckle. I think there's some pepper in this as well, but I mean, it is just, and you can see, right, I've got a decent dent in this one. I just love this perfume. It is like, it's one of those kind of second skin perfumes to me, this one. But it's very, I find it very sweet, so it's not one that I can wear in warmer weather, but in cold weather, this is like my little comfort blanket, and I absolutely love it. I've got lots of backups of this perfume. I love Stash Unspoken. As much as I love Stash, Unspoken is just easier to wear because it's not as complex, it's not as challenging, it's a bit more warm and cozy rather than, you know, it's a bit more feminine as well. But they're both amazing. I love SJP perfumes. What have we got next? Okay, yeah, this was my signature scent for maybe a year or two. Maybe about a year. I don't know, I got through so many bottles of this. One of the few bottles that you'll ever see empties of from me. So I have to keep it in. I feel like I do still really love this, but I feel like my tastes have changed so much that this wouldn't be a signature scent for me anymore. This would just be one that I loved in summer. This is a brocade perfume called Tomato Leaf and Blackcurrant. It's green, it's sweet, it's a bit tangy, it's aromatic, it's a bit herbaceous. It's just got everything in perfumes that I used to look for. I love Tomato Leaf. That's one of my old school faves. I love Blackcurrant. And it's just a perfect balance. It's so beautiful. It doesn't last very long. It's also got a really nice musk in this one. It's very slightly floral, but it's just, mwah, it's so beautiful. You can't really get it anymore because of the Russian sanctions. But the closest I've smelt to this perfume, even though it's stronger, it lasts longer, it's sweeter because there's honey in it, is L'Occitane Herbal. I have that perfume as well, but to be honest, I don't reach for it just because I love this one so much. So yeah, I mean, if you want to get something that's in the realm of Tomato Leaf and Blackcurrant, then I really recommend Herbal from L'Occitane. It's a really good perfume, but yeah, this is just, yeah, as you can see, I reckon I've been through about 10 bottles of this in the past. I used to wear it every day. Another one that was briefly oh my goodness, a signature scent of mine. This perfume makes me so happy. I think it's like, oof. It's such a bright, joyous, happy scent, and it's so affordable. I say affordable, this is just full on cheap, and I don't mind saying cheap when things are cheap. This, I think, full price is maybe about £8. This is Jean Arthur's Boom Green Tea and Cherry Blossom, and it is so fruity and scrumptious, mouth-watering. It's very, it's kind of aquatic in a tea way, you know? It's that kind of watery. like everything that's in this perfume, including the green tea, you can get a sense for. Really gorgeous. I absolutely love this one. Again, like all year round, perfect, fresh, juicy, delicious perfume. If you can't get hold of this, I don't think it's in production anymore, but I have seen it on Notino and some other places. But if you can't get hold of this, the closest you're going to find is green tea pomegranate from Elizabeth Arden. So that one's a little bit more shampooy than this, which is why I prefer this one. But generally speaking, they've got a very, very similar scent. So yeah, if you can't get this, then I highly recommend green tea pomegranate. And speaking of green tea, this is one that's been in my collection on and off ever since it came out. I'm obsessed with this and I love it. Oh, it's like the herbs in here that make it so special. It smells like a spa. This is my little bottle. I've got a big one as well. Green tea, the original by Elizabeth Arden. There is literally never a time of year when I don't love this. There's never a time. This is one of those perfumes where it would be impossible for me to put this on and go, I've made the wrong choice today. And to be honest, that is exactly the same with the Jean Arthur's Green Tea Cherry Blossom. They are both perfumes that I am always in the mood for. They always suit me. They always smell good. I've had bees coming up to me before when I've been wearing this, so there is like this amazing kind of nectary quality to it. It's so green and beautiful without being sharp, without being bitter. It's just a spa-like majestic masterpiece. You know, it's a Francis Kirk de Jean, and I still to this day, I mean, I don't like the original Baccarat Rouge because of all the aroma chemicals in it that I can't get along with. I mean, that is a masterpiece in terms of the profile, and it changed perfumery, but this changed perfumery. This is a masterpiece too. And I will say that every time I have a talk about it, because it's just, you can get it for like £10, which is outrageous. If I ever smell anyone wearing this, I instantly think that they're so chic because it's so clean in the best way. Oh, cannot get enough of it. I love it. I'm taking that home with me whenever I go home as well, because it's such a great, like, light, fresh perfume that doesn't bother other people. Okay. Then we've got this guy. Yeah, man. This is Guester, and the dent speaks for itself. This is a beautiful, again, leaning slightly unisex, but it's like a clean, fresh, fruity, floral with a very musky base. And it's musky not in like an animalic way, but musky in like a bar soap way, like a clean way. It has jasmine, it has kumquat, which is quite an unusual fruit. I find this one sexy. I can't remember if there's sandalwood, but it feels like there might be sandalwood in here. And I feel like it's, again, got that kind of creamy sandalwood and musk vibe that I really, really like. And there's a few perfumes here that have that base. But yeah, Guester is another one that's really affordable. I think it smells amazing. My husband really likes this one. I think it's quite sexy. This is a testable, which is why this is not the original lid. It's this kind of square, rectangular shape, the original lid. But yeah, Guester is just, that's a definitely one that I will be keeping forever, man. I have a backup of this. Oh yeah, that's a good one. That's such a good one. These are all good. I think they're all good. Then we have another one that's lasting the test of time. Let me just spray this out. Oh yeah, another perfect freshie. Another one that I like to take away with me, but I have like a body spray of this and a like a rollerball as well. This is Born Lovely from Sarah Jessica Parker. It's kind of like if you had a gym scent, but it was more feminine than the kind of classic gym scents, because this is not citrusy. This is blackcurrant, peony, and it's got this like delicious kind of fresh, clean, wet laundry smell about it without smelling too detergenty or too soapy. It's kind of smells aquatic, this one, quite sheer. But also, I find this really noticeable, like once it dries down on the skin, oh my goodness. And on clothes, it just smells amazing. This weirdly has caramel and patchouli and cedarwood and stuff in the base. But I feel like it's mainly about a not at all screechy peony, and I don't normally like peony, and a very watery blackcurrant with this kind of through line of just washed clothes. Like, oh, and it's such a good one. like again, when I went off on my kind of wedding honeymoony thing, I just took the big body spray with me, and I always wore it. Like if I was going to go swimming, or if I was just getting up to have coffee with the family, I would put Born Lovely on. It's just so magical. And I use green tea in that same kind of way. All right. I think, yeah, that's all of the ones that haven't changed. So that is the top 10 in terms of they have been with me this whole time, and they're probably not going to be going anywhere. So now we're going to move on to things that are new in my top 20. Some of these are things I already had, but I didn't have in my top 20 last time. Some of them are things that I just didn't have the last time I made this video. And I'm just trying to put this lid back on properly. Okay. So I'm going to also tell you which ones these have knocked out, if you see what I mean. So let's see. The new 10. This is one that I've had for ages, and to be honest, one of the reasons I've put this in the list is because this is one of the perfumes that set me off on a proper perfume journey. This is one of the things that I bought, and then I was like, oh, hang on, I like way more kinds of perfumes than I thought I did. And this was what triggered that exploration in me. So I'm just going to spray a little bit out, even though the spray is dreadful. Oh, yeah. Oh, this is so special. Stella McCartney Stella Pop. This is the original Stella Pop with this cool pink lid. I have a big bottle of this as well, but I just grabbed my little one because it was easier to get to. This is, to me, a violet and tuberose perfume. It's also, and the reason I bought it in the first place is because it's got a tomato leaf note in it. And as I said earlier, I love tomato leaf. A few of my signature scents throughout the year have been tomato leaf scents. So I wanted to try this, but this is sweeter than any perfume I'd really liked and wanted to wear before. And I think it's the first tuberose perfume that I ever fell in love with. It's just, I mean, and look at the bottle. I mean, I love this bottle. It's a terrible sprayer, but I still love how it looks. It smells incredible. It smells like plastic Barbie doll heads. But it's one that I will happily wear if I want to wear a violet. Sometimes I wear it if I want to wear tuberose. But it's got this sweetness, it's got sandalwood, it's got frangipani, it's got, it's just, it's really special. I wore this to my wedding after party because I was dressed in a really kind of girly, feminine, kind of cheeky way, with like a puffy, silky style, like puff sleeve dress. So this just went so well with it, this is like a special perfume to me. So I kind of can't believe I didn't put it in last time. But reason being, this has replaced Jean-Charles Brousseau Fleur d'Ombre Rose. And I feel like that is my favourite rose perfume. But that one's like a very fruity rose. It's light, it's fresh, and that was a signature scent of mine for a while, which is why I chose that. But I feel like in reality, if I had to pick between only keeping one of them, I probably would go for this one. They both smell really pink to me. And I think this might be the one that I go for. So that's why I've chosen this one this time, because yeah, it's pretty special. I love this perfume. So yeah, that was one of my best finds, I feel. So then we have a very special perfume. I mean, this is such a sexy kind of, sometimes I say the word Gothic, but I'm not sure if that's quite right, but it does have something dark about it, because this is Lolita Lempicka. This is Le Parfum. And this one, it's because it's got the licorice and the anise, it has this kind of dark streak through it, even though it's very feminine, girly, sugary, sweet, cherry, violet, tonka bean perfume. But yeah, that spiciness in there just kind of changes how it feels. And it has a slightly animalic musk in it. It has a musk that's really sexy, very, very magical. And it makes me feel like an absolute kind of, how to explain? It makes me feel like a vixen. It makes me feel quite powerful, quite sexy, but in a playful way. So yeah, this one is just so great. And I love Mon Premier as well. And I think if you're not so keen on the musky or the spicy elements in perfumes, then Mon Premier is going to be a better version for you. It's less challenging. It's easier to wear. It's It's kind of less complex than this, but it's still the same general profile, and it's also much cheaper. So I have both. I love both. This is like a kind of cooler weather perfume for me. You might have noticed that a lot of the perfumes I've talked about so far, I think apart from Stash, they're kind of any time of year perfumes. This one, colder weather. And this one beat out my version of the Baccarat Rouge profile, which is Seductive Red from Guess. I absolutely still love that perfume. To be honest, that would be in my top 30 probably. I'd pull that one back in because I do love that, and I never want to be without it. But I think in terms of like specialness and how it makes me feel, this one, Lolita Lempicka, is just a little bit more special. And plus, look at this bottle, for God's sake. I mean, it's just absolutely magical. So yeah, Lolita Lempicka beating out Seductive Red. So next up, we have, oh my goodness, I fell so hard for this. I can't believe it took me so long to try it. I'm obsessed, and my husband loves this perfume as well, and that makes me very happy. I always love when I fall in love with something that he really, really digs. Oh, this is Mediterranean from Elizabeth Arden, and it is so beautiful. It's so funny, like when I make these videos, when I have blue things on here, I can really see how it doesn't quite get the color right on my iPad. This is a glorious turquoise. It's not blue. The bottle is just this fantastic kind of Mediterranean blue. It's got this kind of hint of turquoise in there, this kind of tealy color. This is actually a much more green teal as well, but it comes out blue on the video. But anyway, it is stunning. I'm obsessed with this perfume. I think it's amazing. I don't know that I've really had it for that long, but I've already got a decent dent in this 100ml, and it's definitely one that I feel I might have to get a backup of, because I'm scared that they'll change it or they'll put it in a different bottle, and I love this bottle. But yeah, Mediterranean, this one, it's wisteria and lilac, but then it's got this kind of slight salty sea scent. It's got this I think it's like some kind of peach sorbet or something, and it's got plums, and it's like fruity. It's got this beautiful floral, and I really like lilac and wisteria, but this is such a wearable version of that because it's got those fruits, and because it's this is one that makes me feel very ladylike. It makes me feel like I'm really well put together but gentle, you know. It's got that feel to it. It's just so magical. And this beat out what did this replace? Cerruti 1881. Cerruti 1881 is another one that made me feel ladylike, but it's a little bit more mumsy. It's got a very intense, thick, soapy musk in that perfume, so I just don't find it as easy to wear. I still really like it. I like to have it in my collection. That's like, it's got chamomile in it, which I love. It's got loads of sandalwood. It's got vanilla. It's very musky. It's very floral. Really smells like the 90s. Properly smells like the 90s. But it's just not as easy to wear because that musk is so thick. This one is just so easy to wear. I can chuck it on pretty much any time. I love it. Just when I smell the cap, I'm just absolutely taken away by how magical it is. So yeah, I absolutely love this. I don't ever want to be without Mediterranean. I just think it's magic. Next on the list, we have this is another very thick bar soapy musky perfume that has replaced some of the other musky perfumes in my affections. Not entirely, but in terms of doing a top 20 for life. So this is Pure Poison from Dior. I have the Elixir here, which is absolutely, I think, the nicest version I've ever smelt of Pure Poison, but I think that dupes of normal Pure Poison are amazing. The current Pure Poison is a little bit more jasmine forward to me, but it's still nice. This is just... I just don't even know how to describe, because I didn't used to think that I liked Pure Poison, because I struggle and have struggled so often with jasmine and orange blossom, and there's a lot of those in here. But it also has this kind of really thick bar soapy, creamy sweet musk. Even in the dupe of Pure Poison that I have, which is called Mamba Juice from Saffron London. You can only get that in the UK, I think, but I think it's amazing. It just almost has a sprinkle of cacao in it. And this particular version, Pure Poison Elixir, it actually does have cacao in the notes. So this is a little bit sweeter. It's got like a gourmand touch, but it still essentially smells like Pure Poison. And I can't believe how much I've fallen in love with this particular perfume. It smells extremely clean. This is the kind of perfume that I would wear when I was going out for drinks or like coffee with a very sophisticated friend of mine, you know? I often choose to wear this when I'm meeting my female friends because I just think there's something very kind of clean and inoffensive about it, but it's also just quite an inviting smell, and I do think it smells, maybe, I mean, mature isn't quite the right word, but it smells again well put together. I just think a lady who smells like Pure Poison just kind of smells like she's well put together. So yeah, this one has replaced in this top 20 Lanvin's Oxygen. So I still love Oxygen. I do absolutely love it. I just can't wear it as much as I would wear Pure Poison, because Pure Poison, I think, kind of works in different weathers. For me, Oxygen is so strong, I can only wear that in cold weather, but it is another very thick creamy musk and sandalwood, and that one has iris, it's got milk, so there's a slightly lactonic note in there, and it's like clean and fresh. It smells cold, but it's like a lactonic spa scent. I still love it. I never want to be without it, honestly. But in terms of a top 20, I have to be honest with myself and say that because I can wear this more frequently and it's a slightly easier wear for me, this is the one that's going to come into my top 20. But, you know, if we were doing a top 30, Oxygen would probably still be in there. So, yeah, beautiful. But all of the versions of Pure Poison are just absolutely magical, and my dupe is amazing too. Okay. This might be the most expensive perfume that I have in this list. I feel like Dior Forever and Ever is relatively expensive, but I feel like this might be more. But this is my vanilla. This is my vanilla of choice, I think. Yeah, I think this is the only proper vanilla that I've chosen. I have a couple of others that have a lot of vanilla in, but this is my vanilla of choice. If you watch me, you know what I'm going to pick, right? This is Eau Duelle from Diptyque. This is a green vanilla. It's my absolute favourite vanilla. It's a vanilla that isn't particularly gourmand, but is really beautiful, easy to wear any time of year. I actually have the EDT and the EDP. I like both of them. I find the EDT to be slightly greener and a little bit more maybe herbal, and the EDP is a little bit more smoky. I actually genuinely find the EDT to be slightly more vanillic than the EDP, but I love them both. I went for the EDT purely because it's cheaper, so if I was only going to have one, I would get, and also you get 100ml for slightly less than you get 75ml of the EDP. So yeah, that's partly. We've just got to look at the other side as well because it's so cool. Look at that. So beautiful. Yeah, so I mean, me and vanillas, like when I made my first top 20, the idea of me choosing a vanilla to be in my top 20 was literally insane. I never thought I would, but then I discovered Eau Duelle and I was like, actually, the first one I discovered, which I had kind of tossed up what I was going to pick, it's just that I find this one easier to wear literally any time of year again. The first vanilla I think I really fell in love with was Ladylike Mediterranean. That is another slightly green vanilla. That one, I think it's the heliotrope in that makes it slightly less easy to wear than Eau Duelle. This one's a little bit crisper, a little bit less floral. But I love that perfume as well. And that was my jumping off point for being like, oh, it's not that I don't like vanillas. It's that I don't like fruity vanillas, or I don't like super floral vanillas, or I don't like necessarily gourmand sugary vanillas necessarily. But I do quite like a herbal vanilla, a green vanilla, or a smoky vanilla, an incensey vanilla, a leathery or, you know, a woody vanilla. So yeah, I love Eau Duel. This is another tea perfume, and you may have seen I've got so many perfumes. Maybe at the end I'll count up and see how many of these perfumes have tea in. But you can kind of tell it has a slight, again, watery quality to it that's really magical. There's like, I think there's like maybe papyrus or something in here. There's all different types of strange green notes, and it's so special, so special. Like, I think it's pepper as well. It's just magical, and I love Eau Duel. Oh, it's so good. So absolutely obsessed. I want that in my collection for the rest of my life. It's so good. Now that one kicked out Casserelles, Yes I Am, although I have dupes of that. So I've got Pascal Morabito, Amer, which I keep at work, and then I've got Larive, My Only Wish, which is the one I keep at home. To be honest, I don't think either of those are in production anymore, so you're better off to just get the real Casserelle, Yes I Am, because that's really quite affordable nowadays. I think you can get it for like under 30 quid for quite a big bottle. But that one, that is a strange, again, almost slightly gothic, weird, dark smelling perfume, because it's got licorice, and it's got what's it called, cardamom, and it's got all these interesting kind of spices. It's very sweet, but then it's got a really strong raspberry. It's got a lactonic note. It's a lot going on. I still really love it, but again, it's one I can't really wear all year round. I can only wear it in cold weather because it's really sweet. So I feel like that really came into like my considerations this year, is that I chose a lot of stuff and it has replaced things that I can't wear too often because they're like weather specific. And a lot of these have now been replaced with things that are easier to wear just any time of year. So I think that's part of it. But yeah, Eau Duel, I never want to be without it. I love it. Then let's move on. I mean, you guys, were you waiting for this to turn up? I mean, probably, right? Like actually obsessed, and really hard to pick. But I mean, it makes sense for me to pick the original because it is the one I'm most obsessed with. This is Guerlain, and this is Mon Guerlain, the original. This is the Eau de Parfum. I also am obsessed with the Intense, and you will see I've actually chosen two from this range as well. I couldn't resist. So lavender, licorice. I mean, like, you can see, right? I really like licorice. I like licorice and anise. I like those kind of things. But yeah, this is lavender, licorice, vanilla, not tuberose, tonka bean. There are florals in this actually, but it's just so cozy. It's so ladylike. It's very feminine to me. Not everyone finds this feminine, which I find interesting. It must be the spiciness, but I just think this is pure magic. I'm so obsessed with this perfume. I love it. I've got a lot of this range. I've got a few videos about these. And I just kind of want to wear this all the time. I feel like realistically, if I was looking at these perfumes and choosing signature scents, I think if I was being like real with myself, it would be Skin Musk, maybe green tea, and this. Those are the things that I'm looking at. Maybe one more that you're about to see. But I feel like if I was going to have a really like small collection, this would have to be in there. Like if I had a top 5 for life, this has to be in there now because it is a pure obsession. There's never a time I don't love putting this on. This is another one I never regret putting on ever. Like never. And I have a kind of perfume that's clearly inspired by this called Chill Out from Oriflame, which it just lists like cedarwood, vanilla and lavender, but it smells like a stripped back version of this, and I wear that to bed like a lot. This also kind of reminds me a little bit of the thing from Lush that I spray on my bed often, which is Twilight. They've just renamed it as Sleepy. That perfume is a body spray. I don't really like that on my skin, but I love it on my bedclothes. And all of these perfumes have a very similar kind of profile, and this is the absolute queen. In terms of wearing. So yeah, I just love this. There's never a time I don't love this perfume. I am truly in love, obsessed with this, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. So yeah, that's the original Mon Guerlain. Oh, what did that replace? Let me just... Vera Wang Lavender and Tuberose. I still really like that perfume a lot. I just like this one more. That is a beautiful lavender perfume with tuberose. It also has a kind of whipped cream sweetness in there. It's got cacao in there. It smells actually very similar to Replica Coffee Break. It's got a very similar scent to that. They don't make it anymore though, but this is definitely my favourite. This is my favourite vanilla of my favourite lavender. This is my favourite lavender of all time. Although there's quite a lot of vanilla in here, but this particular version is half lavender, half tonka and vanilla, I would say. Oh my god, it's so good. It is so good. I'm sorry, because I know how frustrating it must be for everyone who can't get hold of this perfume, that there's quite a few perfume reviewers on YouTube who are like, oh my god, this is the best smell ever. But it really truly is one of the nicest things I've smelled. It's the only Valentino I have. It's the only Valentino I've ever smelled that I like, and it's a real love. So this is Valentino Donna Aqua, this gorgeous juice in it. I have backups of this because as whenever I've seen them on eBay for a decent price, I've just bought them because truly I want to wear this all the time. This is a almond and pear perfume, which, I mean, I love almond perfumes, but I really love pear. And again, if I go through these and look at how many have pear in, there's quite a lot. I just adore pear. This has a sugary sweetness. It's got, I think they call it like sun-dried tonka bean. On the carded sample that I had from this, it said that it was a rose and frangipani accord. It's just so special. Now, this one has replaced Burberry Brit, and I think it definitely has crossovers with that. That one as well is a pear and almond perfume. The reason this has replaced that is I can wear this any time of year, and I absolutely am obsessed with it. I also love Burberry Brit, and I do now have the EDP and the EDT in order to allow me to wear the EDT when it's warmer weather, and then I can wear the EDP in colder weather, because the EDP for me is just too heavy at any time of year when it's like when it's a little bit warm. That one I just find kind of chokes me out a bit. But this one, any time of year, it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. So that is my Burberry Brit is actually my suggestion for if you can't find this one and you just want something that's easy to get hold of. And I feel like this smells a little bit closer to the EDP, but it has the same kind of light brightness as the EDT. The EDT has lemongrass in it, so it takes it in a herbaceous and slightly woody way that this one doesn't have. But it's pretty beautiful. Also, is it genre? No, generic perfumes, I think they're called. They have a dupe of this. I got the oil. It doesn't smell exactly the same, but it is quite similar. So that's another option. You can order just a generic perfumes version of Donna Aqua. But yeah, I'm obsessed. I love it. I love Burberry Brit too. So this was like a painful one. Because again, if this was like a top 30 or top 40, Burberry Brit would definitely be in there. And the EDP is my favourite, but I do like both versions. Okay, so yeah, this one's got some magic to it. Oh my goodness. So this is my favourite ever honey perfume. This is Terra de Lumiere from L'Occitane. This now comes in a very plain bottle, but it does smell the same. It's got a transparent liquid as well. Although mine is already starting, because I should have brought it over, but I have the current bottle of this as well. Because this round version has been discontinued, but they just brought it out again in a very plain, straight up and down bottle. The liquid was completely clear at first, and now it's started to change a little bit, so I think it probably will darken up due to the sweetness. But this is a lavender and honey perfume essentially. It has a classic L'Occitane feel. It's got some kind of hay-like florals in there as well that give it quite an interesting scent. But it is beautiful honey. I actually prefer this in warmer weather. I mean, you could wear it any time because it's quite sweet. But I think honey perfumes just really shine in slightly warmer weather. That's how I feel about them anyway. But this is just absolutely magical, and I had to have it in here because when I wear this I get obsessed. But the honey in it is so magical. If you don't like lavender, you might not still like it. I think this also has tonka bean in it, so it's got beautiful sweetness. This one has replaced Vera Wang, Marigold and Gardenia. That's a perfume that I really like, but my husband thinks it smells like cucumber and he really does not like that perfume. So it's one that I really only wear on days where we're not going to be spending much time together. It's one of the few perfumes that I think I have that he genuinely doesn't like. Um, and it's also discontinued. I still love that one. It actually has melon in it, which I think to him is what's coming across as cucumber. And I understand that. I often smell things that have melon that I get a cucumber from. I think it has a really like similar scent profile, but I find one quite sweet and nice and one savoury and unpleasant. And cucumber smells dirty to me, so I understand why that freaks him out. But I do still love that perfume, but it's one that I just don't wear very often anymore, purely because, you know, if you live with someone who doesn't like it, it's a bit rude to constantly wear it. So yeah, it just made sense for me to put one in that we both really like. So this is just delicious. Yeah. Oh, look at the colour. Such a shame they changed these bottles, but I guess it's a cost thing. But my goodness, so beautiful. Okay, so here it is. I had to. Oh, so magical. This smells so good on my skin. I mean, genuinely, this smells amazing on me, this perfume, and I love it. This is Mon Guerlain. This is Sparkling Bouquet. This is like a really stripped back, sheer version of the general Mon Guerlain profile, but it's not quite as sweet. And then there's a really juicy pear in it. So it's like brighter, fresher, summer appropriate. It's absolutely beautiful. Another one that makes me smell, I think, amazing, very ladylike. I just love it. And I love a pear. I love a good pear note. I really do. So it's got pear and lavender. I can't even remember what the florals are in here, but it's so pretty. And I really, really like this one. The longer I have it, kind of the better it lasts. But I think it also depends what time of year you try it. But I love this perfume. So this one has replaced... Oh, it's replaced Still by Jennifer Lopez. So again, if this was like a top 30, Still would still be in there. I really love that perfume. I just don't find it as easy to wear as the other tea perfumes and the light kind of bright perfumes, because you'll notice that a lot of the stuff in my top 10 like are light and fresh. You know, I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got like 5 perfumes in that top 10 that I would consider to be like freshies. Even like Dior Forever and Ever, that one is still a freshie, even though it's really floral. So I just kind of felt like I've got 2 tea perfumes. I've got 1 kind of gym fresh perfume, 1 floral freshie and 1 fruity freshie. And I just decided that Still would have to leave so that I could bring this one in. But I do still love Still. And I think Still might be my husband's favourite perfume in my whole collection. Like, that is the one that he really seems to, when he smells it, to really, really love. That is Earl Grey tea, although I think it's... And lots of jasmine. So I just think it smells a bit like real jasmine tea. If you imagine jasmine tea with like a little like slice of green apple in there, and cold, I feel like that's how that smells. It's got pepper in it. It's amazing. The longevity is incredible. I still love that perfume, but I had to put this one in there. But like I said, I mean, realistically, I still need Still as well. So this whole top 20 thing, I think, you know, I'm lying to myself. But yeah, I love Sparkling Bouquet. And then, yeah, I think it's just a classic and I have to have it. And plus, I think I have more perfumes from this particular house stroke company than I have from anywhere else. They need to be represented. And I really thought about which one I was going to go for. And I have gone for American Cream from Lush. Really difficult to decide with Lush because I've got loads of stuff that I love. Realistically, Twilight, or Sleepy as it's now called, that is my top 20 for life. I've been through so many bottles of that. I just don't wear it on my skin, which is why I didn't include it in this. But I do always re-up on that because I spray it all over my bed because I love that smell. So realistically, that is my favourite from Lush. But in terms of wearing, I've got quite a lot that I really like, including some like limited edition ones, things they don't make anymore. But I wanted, because this is for life, I wanted to go for one of the ones that's just a kind of stalwart, you know, it's like always going to be around probably, and I'm always going to have it. So American Cream is the one. This is another one that I think of as being a slightly violety perfume. So if I'm looking for something with violet in it, I'll often reach for this. It's rose, violet, iris, sage, lavender. And then all of those kind of smell like they've been crystallized in sugar, and that they're all sitting on top of a fondant icing, a white fondant icing. Because it's sort of a vanilla, but not really. There's a lot of tonka bean in here. It's that classic thing with Lush where it doesn't entirely smell like vanilla, but it's very, very sweet. And it's just so pretty. I just love smelling like this, and I love the smell of it. So I felt like it had to be American Cream. But it was quite a hard decision. And that one kicked out In Love Again from YSL. So that was another one of mine that I had as a signature scent for like maybe a year. And I loved that perfume. It's got muscat grapes, it's got tomato leaf, it's got blackcurrant, it's got so many of my favourite notes. But it doesn't last very long. So as much as it's kind of always sitting in my collection, I feel like nowadays if I ran out of a bottle, I probably wouldn't buy another one, just because the longevity on it is so appalling. And that's why I went through so many bottles. You know, I had to keep respraying it all the time, and it's quite expensive. So that, I do really love it. Realistically, I'm probably going to have the bottle I had that I just wear every now and again. I'm probably going to have that for the rest of my life, and I do love how that bottle looks. It's really cool. But in terms of what I actually wear on the regular, and that I think is really worth my time, American Cream is just, you know, that's such a good one. So yeah, that's my last in the top 20. And then I'm just going to shout out 5 special mentions, you know, honourable mentions, because I feel the need to. So the other 2 from Lush, I have to mention them because when I made my first video, these were 2 that I was like, oh, you know, I love how it smells, but I can't wear it. Or I love the shower gel, but I can't wear it. And nowadays that has changed. So I have Lush and Lord of Misrule, and I think that they are both going to be with me forever. So Lord of Misrule, this to me is a green vanilla. It's a patchouli, black pepper and vanilla. So it's got that warm spicy that I like with vanilla. It's got a patchouli, and I don't normally like patchouli, but this is magic. There's no floral smell and there's no fruity smell. And to me, something about the patchouli in Lord of Misrule smells slightly minty. It smells green and a bit herbaceous, also slightly earthy. The vanilla in this is so addictive. I actually genuinely believe this to be a masterpiece. I think it's an incredible perfume. That you can get it for like under £30 for a 30ml is wild to me. It's just, once this is dried down, oh my God. And I like this in cold weather though. Like, this is not one I can wear all throughout the year. And then in the opposite direction, to be honest, Lust. Lust is a full jasmine perfume. And jasmine for me, I really struggle with it. And I used to really struggle with this, but I can wear much stronger perfumes nowadays than I used to be able to. I've become quite hardy. Yeah, I'm not just a skin sense person anymore, but I can't really change my name now. That's just what it is. I'm still a fusspot. Oh my God. This is one of the sexiest floral perfumes I've ever smelled. It's animalic. It's kind of filthy in a lusty way. It kind of smells a bit sweaty in a way that I quite like. Well, I don't just quite like it. I friggin' love this perfume. But I can't wear this in cooler weather because I get this strange smell from it. But in warmer weather, in spring and light summer, if you go light with it, if this is too strong for you, which it is for a lot of people, the little solid version of Lust is what I started off with, and I was so obsessed I couldn't stop putting it on. But for me, it smells almost like there's sort of mandarin or something in the top of it, and then there is a hella bunch of really beautiful smelling, natural smelling jasmine that smells like the jasmine you get in like a back garden that you can smell at midnight. And then there's ylang ylang, which is I think what really takes this to a different level for me. But it does have something animalic in here. It has it's slightly indolic. I'm not getting like a kind of fecal or urinal smell from this. What I'm getting is something that is far more like musky and sweaty. in a way that I find just absolutely intoxicating. So yeah, I was really struggling. I went for American Cream because it's the one I reach for most. It's the easiest one to wear. But I do think both of these deserve an honourable mention because they're flipping incredible. They really are. Obsessed. Then I've got a couple of kind of fruity musks that I'm obsessed with, and I found it so difficult to not put them in here, but yeah. So this is Modern Princess by Almond. Amazing, creamy, musky red apple perfume. Absolutely delicious. And then this is a new one to me, but I could not resist reaching for this, and I had to stop myself wearing this just all the time when I bought this. This is Tocca Simone. So this is a musky floral watermelon, and they both have like a musky bar soapy smell. They both have freesia, but this one's red apple and this one is watermelon. So if you told me that Tocca Simone was a flanker from the Modern Princess line, I would have totally believed you. And they do actually have a flanker from the Modern Princess line that has watermelon in it, but I tried that and it just smells like shampoo and I really didn't like it at all. Whereas Tocca Simone, such an easy wear, so perfect for warm weather, truly an easy reach. So, I mean, I got a bit obsessed with that last year, so honourable mention. And the last honourable mention is another vanilla perfume. And again, this one I don't find as easy to wear just at any time as I do with Eau Duelle, because I feel like there might be just a hint of an aroma chemical in here that occasionally I'll smell it and I'll be like, but most of the time I love this. And so does everyone else, it's not original. Burberry Goddess is such a good vanilla perfume. I think it's got a sheerness to it. It's got lavender in it. It's got cacao. It's just a really beautiful, scrummy, sweet, light perfume that has gourmand touches. It doesn't smell too floral. There's a lot of ginger in this, which I really enjoy. So it's got the warm spicy, it's got the warm cacao, it's got a yummy, scrummy, sugary vanilla, and then it's got a beautiful aromatic lavender. And I mean, that's just right up my street. So I was sort of not surprised that I loved this, while also being quite surprised because I don't normally love modern perfumes. So, well, not modern popular ones anyway, but this is such a beautiful perfume. I like this particularly in warmer weather. So yeah, I did think about this one, but I was like, probably not top 20 because it wouldn't beat out Eau Duelle, but I do really like this. And yeah, that's my last honourable mention. So yeah, I think that, I mean, what a bunch of beauties, isn't it? So that's it, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I think I was trying to think of what might be my top 5, and it's really, really tricky to choose that. And there's some that are really kind of vying for my attention here in terms of like my top 5. But I think if I was kind of thinking about it in a kind of something, something a little bit floral, something a little bit herbal, something musky, something sweet and something woody, probably this would be what I ended up going for. Although, such a toss-up between this and Dior Forever and Ever, I just feel like maybe this is just, it's more of a bargain, and I feel like I can just wear it anytime. Whereas I feel like in my brain, Forever and Ever is like such a good springtime perfume, but yeah, that's such a difficult one. This is why I can't do a top 5, because I'd be lying. But these are the ones I chose to put back up here for now. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what your top 5 would be down below. Let me know what you think of this list. Let me know what you think of the changes that I've made, or if you're surprised to see anything in here, or there's anything that you're expecting that I didn't put in. It's very possible I've forgotten something that I absolutely love. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope this was fun, and please do subscribe if you're not already. It really helps my channel. All right, thanks guys. Bye.